The long range look ahead today, going through the rest of October and into November. And at the very end, we'll have a look at CFS charts for December to see what they are predicting. But the end of the year, now before you get on, just talk about the advertising. There's video ads on the web pages at gazweathervids.com. The video ad unit here on my homepage is sitting just above this video. If you press play on those video ads, you support gazweathervids.com. And thanks very much for doing that. So we're going to start off with the JMA model, as we usually do on Friday videos. This updated just a few minutes ago. It updates on a Friday morning. These are 700 millibar heights from the JMA model. A little bit difficult to work out what is actually being shown for British Isles because we're upside down with this. That's where the British Isles is, just there. But what the model is basically going for the coming weekly period, which takes us from the 10th to the 17th of October, is a big area of above average height sitting to the north of the country and around the British Isles, shown up by those orange colours there, and below average heights indicating low pressure running to the south of the country and into the southwest as well. So the idea for the coming week is that we're going to have pretty block conditions really, with high pressure blocking to the north, low pressure in the Atlantic coming in off the Atlantic, and increasingly I think that low pressure off the Atlantic will be more and more influential actually through the course of the coming week. But it's certainly going to be very blocked to the north of the country with big blocking features over the north. Now as we move through to the second weekly period, which takes us, this period takes us from the 17th to the 24th of October, then we lose the blocking quite a bit actually to the north of the country. The heights are still there, but they are moderating quite a lot. They're going more up towards Greenland and away towards the west of Canada actually by that time. And what we're actually looking at then is the below average heights extending in off the Atlantic. Also notice this ridge building down to the south indicated by these yellow colours. So we're looking at a more changeable week then, and probably quite mild as well that week, the 17th to the 24th, because we'll be bringing excuse me, quite a lot of sort of southerly, southwesterly winds in across the country. But it would be unsettled. We'd be having showers or longer spells of rain. And then moving through to the third and fourth weeks, which is taking us from the 24th of October to the 7th of November. Well, then we're looking at the heights actually moving away. The above average heights have gone to the north of the country, and we've got below average heights then setting up to the north, and interestingly to the east and the northeast of the country. You have got low pressure there, and you would expect, but it doesn't particularly show it, you would expect a ridge to be sitting somewhere around here in the Atlantic. That could potentially be quite cold actually for the end of October and into the start of November. We've got the low pressure to the east, the high pressure is to the west. You would potentially with that be expecting quite a lot of northerly sort of influences going out to the start of November. So potentially we get our first proper sort of cold snap right at the end of October and into the start of November. And always more settled away to the north and the east, drier actually to the west, where we've got that ridge of high pressure. Now these are the CFS city temperature forecasts from website weatherweb.net. This is taking us over the next monthly period, starting from the 11th of October just here, and ending up somewhere around the 25th perhaps of November over there. And this is for Birmingham, I should say. You can get city forecasts for most of the major cities: London, Cardiff, Birmingham, Manchester and Glasgow. I've chosen Birmingham as a good representation for central England. We're starting off pretty cool actually. It has turned cold, as we know. We're going to see the temperatures gradually lifting up through the coming weekly period. So that ties in nicely with the JMA model actually, going up towards the 21st, 22nd, 23rd of October, something like that. We're going to see the temperatures picking up a little bit. It's anywhere from around the 17th to say the 22nd or 23rd. So yeah, that ties in quite nicely with what we saw from the JMA model. We lose the heights to the north, we get more of a southwesterly influence later next week and into that second half period of October. So I think we'll see the temperatures becoming a little bit milder. And then we sort of stabilise around that period as we go up towards the 26th, 27th of October. And then we get a big drop down going really quite cold again as we get through to the very end of October and into the start of November, and then through the start of November, or the first week of November, we get our first real cold snap coming along then. So by the time we get through to around the 6th or 7th of November, we're actually struggling to get daytime maximums in Birmingham up to around 3 or 4 degrees. That's proper cold sort of weather for November. You will really notice that, and that lasts for quite a few days actually, until we get to around say the 12th or 13th, and then things start lifting up a little bit. It turns milder, although maybe another cold snap being indicated there somewhere around the 17th or 18th. But overall, the middle and second half of November does look a little bit milder there than the opening week of November. So that actually ties in very nicely with the JMA model. We get this warmer period going through from around the 16th, 17th to around the 22nd, 23rd. Then we sort of stabilise, then we drop down at the end of the month. But remember, that's when the JMA was seeing the low pressure to the east and the high pressure to the west through this period at the end of October and going into the start of November. So the idea there with both those models is very much seeing the cooling going on and becoming quite cold potentially through the first week of November. And then, speculative of course, but we may see things lifting up a little bit again as we go through into the middle of November. What about the CFS 700 millibar height anomalies for November? Well, this is what it's seeing. Actually, it's seeing a very much a typical sort of November pattern. We've got low pressure below average heights of 700 millibars, and this is a similar idea to the 500 millibar heights that we were just looking at with the JMA model, just in a very slightly different area in the atmosphere. Originally, Atlantic, we've got a fairly strong westerly flow coming through. There's a trough in Eastern America, but we are bringing the jet stream more or less through the country. That's a very typical sort of November pattern, to be honest. You wouldn't expect much deviation from the average. So for the temperature forecast for November, just at the moment, it's seeing a near normal month. Mild to the south, though, across France and Spain. We're looking at a mild month there, potentially. But for us, it's normal sort of temperatures, and you would expect that because we're bringing the jet stream through more or less across the country. So France, Spain is on the warm side of jet stream. We've got the jet stream coming through, so we're nearer normal with those temperatures. And in terms of the precipitation forecast, it's seeing quite an unsettled month there, actually. Particularly for France, a wet month being indicated for France. If you assume we're bringing the jet stream more or less through across the country, you would expect it to be pretty unsettled, really, for many parts of British Isles. But it's actually showing the worst of the rainfall in the west. I think all parts will get a fairly unsettled November with that. So after a cold start to November, we probably then settling to near normal sort of temperatures on the evidence of this, and quite an unsettled month as well. Finally, having a very quick snapshot at December, much more interesting this one because it's still seeing that we're bringing the above average heights back to the north of the country with these orange colours, the yellow and orange colours indicating high pressure sitting to the north, and low pressure is away to the east and in the mid-Atlantic. So what's going on there is that the jet stream is moving southwards. We're on the cold side of the jet. The jet will be going through in central parts of Europe, and yeah, we've got that high pressure sitting to the north of the country. Quite an extensive high pressure actually to the north. And that could potentially bring some quite cold air in, to be honest, from the north and from the northeast as well, with the low pressure to the south potentially providing the precipitation for snow. So December looking very interesting. November looking like it's going to be near normal sort of month actually, after potentially quite a cold start. I think we are looking at quite a coldish first week to November on this morning's evidence. So maybe a cold bonfire night. You may have to wrap up warm this bonfire night if you're having fireworks. Just a little bit of a heads up about that, and possibly for Halloween as well. Trick-or-treating could be quite cold for Halloween. But generally that last sort of 5 days of October into the first week of November, that period does look potentially quite cold. Otherwise, I think we're looking at a fairly sort of normal November, mildish and near normal temperatures and near normal rainfall, quite unsettled. And the rest of October, up to those final days, probably not deviating too much from the average. It's cold now, but I think we will see the temperatures lifting up a little bit. Now, it's all very speculative, so don't take it too seriously. These are experimental models. And we're doing weekend forecast tomorrow, which is tried and tested sort of models, nothing experimental about that. So come back for that tomorrow. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.